What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down as well. And of course, guys, as we get rolling here tonight, we do have some pre-game news, some info, some updates. Of course, we get to hear from some of our players and our preview to tomorrow's game. We have a few little insights we want to touch on, before we officially kind of, dive into our football Sunday. And of course, I do want to know your kind of early score prediction since last week. Of course, we did have someone somehow predict that big Cowboys blowout.
That's the exact score, but
no
one believed the exact score.
It was the only person who actually put down like, oh no, the Cowboys are putting way over 40 on these Giants. It's like, okay. So I'm curious to see some score predictions here tonight. But of course, there's some other things we have to do tonight, like shout out the people helping to make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. Thank you very much to our sponsor of the week. A big mahalo to the man, MyCowboysFamily.
Much love.
Appreciate you, of course. And he's not the only person representing. Brandon James, much love to you with 74 points on that stream. Boss, some more O-line representation, as is proper. And Snug X, you see him there officially taking over as a Cash App king for this week with that $5 Cash App drop from yesterday.
Actually two fives. Yeah, so he's got 10 for the week in the Cash App. But he also has the crown for 5 straight weeks. So Snug X, you know why he's here, but he's also here.
He's got 5 on it.
Yeah, to extend that streak. Will they get to that X, that 10? I don't know. But Snug X currently on the board in the Cash App. But there are some, again, we touch on the gifting champion right now, the Lunatic. Much love to him. The man that got out of the whole crew. I mean, he broke out of the a bustling matchup last week between like 4 or 5 different people gifting. This week, a lot easier. The Lunatic's the only one who, not the Lunatic's representing it.
Ron the
Don Smith's got the lead this week with 5 on it himself. And that's he only got 5 gifted memberships this week. So, again, looks like Ron the Don is in the big lead here. Tomorrow, we will crown some champions on all these boards. Because if you look at the overall board right now, the overall leader, you got David S. Much love to him, who is currently ahead of MyCowboysFamily and Snug X and all these people on the board. Brandon James and Ron the Don. It's Mr. David S. And he's not just first place on the overall board trying to get that sponsor of the week, but he's also trying to stop that streak from the great Snug X, because David S. is currently in the lead as we speak right now with today and tomorrow to go. A couple people nearby him, a lot of people in the Cash App, but right now David S. got the lead on both boards, and hey, we'll maybe get a takeover. We shall see. Appreciate David S. Appreciate everybody in the house. Also appreciate Skeptical Fan, who dropped a $2 thanks. Ooh. So appreciate you. Thank you to the man, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. He predicted a 24-13 Cowboys win.
Oh, so that Jets defense did not mess around, huh?
But that's also with the Skeptical Fan, right? So, yeah, skeptical, staying skeptical, still winning. He's got us winning by 11, double digits. So, anyways, much love to Skeptical Fan on that side of things. Much love to everybody, Brandon James, Snug X, David S., MyCowboysFamily, the Lunatic, Ron the Don Smith, everybody in the house. Appreciate you guys and everybody in the chat. Also appreciate the star level membership, the nightly shout-outs, along with the Over Everything membership, which I'll start with him today. It's Snug X with the Over Everything. Woo. But don't forget the other fantastic star level members here. Well, that's the level right below the Over Everything level. Much love to the ballers in the house, representing it as our sponsors here on the monthly, basically.
Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. You have Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, Lincoln Kane from Australia, Mary Alvarez, much love, Andy Potched, of course, Ron the Don Smith, shout out to Marissa Sparkle, and once again to Snug X Over Everything.
Yeah, he's got the Over Everything there. Appreciate you guys on all the levels, Navy Blue, Silver Star, and Over Everything. And by the way, tomorrow we'll have a little raffle for those that are in the membership. You got to wait to see what it is. Much love to Frank Moyer for making it happen. And we'll get that going tomorrow. So if you definitely want to try to maybe win a little special prize, make sure you get in that membership tonight. Also, there's always that star level membership and the Over Everything that gets you a chance to win a sewn and stitch jersey from Cowboys Mosh once a month. We did ours already this month, and it was Jason Renfro with the big win. We'll do another one kicking off in October sometime, early October. So, again, star level members, over everything members, every month got a chance to win a jersey. You can get lucky and win it every month, possibly, right? So you get a choice of 30 or more players, legends, new school guys, old school guys, whatever. Styles, the whole thing. So much love to everybody. And, we talked about Dwayne Broussard. Dwayne Broussard, DB, the OG, the top dog. He actually gave us a good idea here when it comes to the sponsor of the week, and that's going to be kind of trickling out on Monday. We're going to let you guys know what we're going to do. Much love to Dwayne Broussard. It's going to be a monthly thing, but basically if you get in as our sponsor of the week, after the month, we'll take a look at that, maybe give you a little special thank you. One of those 4 wins. One of those 4 winners in the week could be 4 of the same name, right? And then we know who's going to win the prize. We'll go over that a little more on Monday, kicking off a new week. Much love to Dwayne Broussard with a great idea. Calvin Richard. He said, I got 5 on it. Kicking it off here. First drop live.
Woo! Thank you so much, Calvin. Appreciate you that $5 holler. He said, Cowboys, stop the run. Let the defense feast.
That's all we need to stop the run, we win.
Some people had some serious problems with that last week, though. Apparently, our offense just didn't do their job, even though our defense was, having their Thanksgiving dinner twice over, right? Yeah. So, I'm just saying, apparently some people, a lot of the Cowboy Nation, so to speak, are looking to see a little bit more from our offense, which I feel like almost requires our defense to maybe not eat as much. So
we'll
now
talk about that.
I have to be honest. I have to shout out the person here. Thank you so much to Ryland Kimmel. Subbing it up. Appreciate you.
Well, welcome to the family here in my Cowboys family. On the family, with the family. Appreciate you. By the way, Calvin, he jumps into 10th place. He's in the top 10 board officially for Calvin Richard as he, ups himself on the leaderboard. Well, once again, he's just moving on up here, guys. So appreciate Calvin Richard. And that takes our stream boss, Brandon James, listen to 68 points. Finally got that correctly. I can't really see it because the Dak Prescott's over the 68, but either way, we got it. By the way, much love to the new people subscribing to the channel. Appreciate everybody dropping the super chats like Calvin, the thanks button, the thanks drop like Skeptical Fan, the memberships, you jump into that, like the Snug Eggs going over everything level. You can upgrade. And, of course, the gifting membership crew, which is Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Bobby Bottles, and many more like De Lunatic and Ron the Don Smith, right? So appreciate those ways of dropping the love and support for the channel as we get ready to take the camera on, put the camera on tomorrow for another play-by-play watch party, live stream reaction right here tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern against the Jets, Cowboys. I'm ready. But that's tomorrow, right? Appreciate all the love through those ways. There's 4 other ways you can be and maybe try to take over that Cash App crown, baby. Let them know the other 4 ways to support the channel.
Of course, you have the Cash App, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link, which lets your comments show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right, guys. So now that we got that clear, all the intros and the the discussions, the basic discussion stuff of the channel out the way, baby, it's time to get those shout-outs going. And who's in the house ready to talk some Cowboy football and about this preview of this Jets game tomorrow?
We have the newest family member, Ryland Kimmel. Much love.
Welcome.
Appreciate you. So, El Fuego 2.0. And yes, I could have sworn we replied back to one of your emails. I'm pretty sure we did, letting you know about a shirt size and stuff. But yes, we got you. Good to go. Thank you so much for shooting us that email. By the way, Tammy, yes, just in case, MyCowboysFamily at gmail.com. Go ahead and shoot us that email so we can get that to you.
Yeah, that's Skeptical Fans. The navy blue raffle we had, and you see it right here, the different choices that are left. I think it's just one woman's t-shirt, right? Everything else has been claimed. So
that's right.
Much love, Skeptical Fan, making this thing happen.
So we have, of course, Skeptical Fan always staying skeptical. Yeah. Tammy Soltis, much love. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, who's there in Dallas, ready to watch our Cowboys kick ass and take some names. So Tommy Montoya, hello and hi. Oh, I didn't realize. He said, watching Colorado Buffs losing to CSU might be an upset, Coach Prime.
We were watching that for a little bit here, right before the stream started.
Yeah. So, of course, Calvin Richard, thank you to you. We have Leaside Harold, hello and hi. You're here to talk real football, right? Quano 6, hello, much love. So, yeah, he's just saying their score last week was 31-10. It obviously ended up a little bit different there in a good way. Matt Persico, what's up? Hello and hi. Daniel Berry Sports. We have, let me see, who else is here? Rolling back. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Dan, the man, rolling through in the house. I think was, let me see. Retro Scotty, hello and hi. We got Tornado, OG Lokes to 09. I wonder, yeah, Freedom First was first. So I always try to check that if I can go all the way back. So, because I know he takes a pride in that.
Much
so
love to Freedom.
Mike Aldana, hello, saying CSU had another touchdown, I guess.
Yeah, I know it was 2 touchdown lead, I think, last we saw, right?
So, and, you got to talk about leads, leadership, all that stuff. Someone's here dropping the love, adding their name to the leaderboard.
How about the OG, Mr. A. Lavelle, who is our number... He's been in the membership the longest.
My bad, not touchdown. CSU had another turnover.
A turnover, okay.
I misspoke.
Right.
I did not misspeak about Mr. Lavelle dropping that $10 holler. You know what he said?
Let me know.
What's up, MCF and MCW? What's good, everybody in the chat? Hope everyone is safe and healthy.
Yes, you too.
Let's have another New York massacre. Beat the Jets, and let's go Cowboys, baby.
Go Cowboys. Hell yeah, let's see that defense take them apart. But we're going to talk about the keys to victory tonight. And it's not just saying, hey, let's just sack them and tear them apart. It's actually how are we doing that? What starts to stopping the run. Everything else will call on the play.
Step-by-step instructions on how to scoop their guts out.
I'm going to let you guys know exactly how to eat their guts.
So, let me roll back here. Oh, nice try, Lee's side. It's okay. At least I know I don't have to be wrong about my football team. But hey, I guess there's worse things in life, right? Anyway, could live in Houston. Oh, sorry. And I'm, no offense to anybody. I guess I'm sorry if you do live in Houston and have to share airspace with Mr. Leaside Herald. I apologize for that. So now let's go ahead, hand things over to the Mr. MCF over here. I know you have, I'm just saying, I know you have some always Cowboy relevant things to touch on. Of course, like we said, guys, this is our Cowboys Jets preview. So, we're really going to be touching on some of the things that we're hoping to see tomorrow, expecting to see tomorrow.
Some keys to win this game. So,
most critical.
But first, we're talking NFL, baby. And
Cowboy adjacent.
Well, not so far. Not really. Not this one, but everything I guess you could say trickles back to Cowboy adjacent because you talk about Barry Sanders, you're talking about Emmitt Smith, based in the same breath. The Lions Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders today said he's going to reveal the mystery of why he retired from the NFL at such a young age. He has a new documentary coming out called Bye Bye Barry. And again, at the time, remember Barry Sanders, and I remember this, he was just about 1,500 yards away, 1,457 yards away from passing Walter Payton for the all-time rushing record. He retired. And Emmitt took it over, a little bit later after that, about a year and a half, 2 years later. But he was on his way to cementing himself as probably the greatest running back of all time and just dipped out. So we'll see what happens. Bye Bye Barry is the name of the documentary, so keep an eye out for that. Now, another former Cowboy. Here's a former Cowboy situation, Amari Cooper. NFL News, the Cleveland Browns. He aggravated his groin, according to their head coach, Kevin Stefanski. We know the further update. He said, quote, we'll see how he does over the next 48 hours. Remember, Cooper had core muscle surgery in the offseason in Cleveland. So now he's a question mark on Monday night against with being the Browns and the Steelers on Monday night. That should be a good game. There's 2 Monday night games this week.
He physically has not been able to hold up the last few years.
Yeah. And again, he had a great year last year, though. But this offseason, the core situation, he might aggravated his groin. It looks like it may be an issue, at least for week 2. Now, one last thing. Now, this is definitely Cowboy relevant, of course, because of the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers today, he spoke about his injury. He had his surgery, yesterday, I think, completed fine, went great. But just an update on that. Aaron Rodgers received a new and innovative surgery on his Achilles, that completely torn Achilles.
Okay.
And this one could have him potentially back and ready to play by mid-January. According to, Rodgers' fully torn left Achilles, this is what they said. Quote, sources say renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Neil L. Atrache, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and his team performed a procedure to place an internal brace called an Achilles speed bridge on Rodgers' fully torn left Achilles. I guess it will make the healing process faster and keep it kind of maybe
honestly,
it
literally sounds like some weird internal support beam for his Achilles.
That's what it is, I think, yeah.
Like, I'm not a builder or anything, but that sounds like a support beam to me.
Yeah.
That's
what it is. What it sounds like what it is, for his Achilles.
To see
so
all sorts of science progressing forward, especially since I feel like most professional athletes are at the forefront of pushing medical science and advancements, considering how beat up and banged up they keep getting.
A lot of the biggest a lot of the biggest innovations from surgeries like this and just medical field kind of stuff when it comes to torn things, broken bones. A lot of that comes from sports and football, NFL. So it's good that it's pushing it forward. Speaking of pushing it forward, the Cowboys pushed it all the way in against the Giants there on Sunday Night Football, but Dak might have done a little pushing afterwards. And what I mean by that, and we talked about it the other day about Dak's brand new girl right there. Now you see her flying off the screen because I didn't get a chance to fix that. But there she is, guys. Let me fix that here. And baby, I know there's a new, kind of update on what happened with Dak and his girl this new girl, right, that he got. And
we really have a little bit more information on, I guess, who she is, a little bit more about what she's about. So first of all, she's 29 years old. So Dak is at least upgrading in that regard. I know the last few have been a little bit younger than him. So either way, the way that they apparently met, it seems like she works as a Moet Hennessy employee, and they met at some sort of social function. Obviously, it's unclear what exactly it is that
Bottle
she does
girl.
with the company.
I'm joking.
But either way, the point is that they just happen to run in somewhat similar circles, not really in the same circles, but they happen to meet, and hey, love at first sight,
for
I
Dak,
guess you could say.
think,
But more than that, her name is Sarah Jane Ramos. Like we said, she works as a specialist for Moet Hennessy. Not really sure what that means.
Specialist.
But it does kind of imply, I don't know, something there.
Special skill. I don't know.
So anyway, there you go. There are a few rumors of Dak possibly dating some other people throughout the offseason after he split up with his last long-term girlfriend. I think they were together for about 2 years. I don't know if this means anything.
Buffett,
I don't know if this means anything to anyone, but LSU swimmer Jaden Janish was apparently someone Dak was getting down with before he found his current lady. So
this pictures are after the Cowboys 40-0 pounding
apparently
on the
she
Giants.
was at that Giants game. By the way,
she was at the game, and after that pounding, I guess Dak. Anyways, after the Giants got pounded, there was maybe a giant pounding afterwards. Anyways. Sorry, I'm not a stand-up comedian, guys, but I'll be back here every day of the week doing more routine.
The Cowboys definitely scored a touchdown or two, and
hey, that's what matters.
So did Dak.
Maybe Dak can score more touchdowns for this offense this week. How about we see that? That's a plus.
Yeah, last week he got to run it in. This week, let's
pound it in.
Yeah, I was gonna say float it in, but sure.
We're getting too crazy. Let's talk about Post Malone.
Oh.
If you go to Raising Cane's in the Dallas market, and all you guys live it out there, you get one of the Post Malone cups, part of your meal, of course, representing the Cowboys. He's there in a Cowboy jersey with a tattooed face and the whole thing, and his Cowboy hat. Raising Cane's chicken, guys, right there. Post Malone cup, part of your meal for $1.39 extra. Each cup has a QR code that can be scanned for a chance to win tickets to a Cowboys home game in the future. So, hey, football season is back, baby. Just want to make sure everyone knows there. When we go there for that October 29th game against the Rams, we'll probably get a couple souvenirs like that. Now, I want to switch gears here because now, we've got past the little fun parts, the Dak's girlfriend and the Post Malone cups at Raising Cane, but let's talk about LC, La'el Collins. This is a guy who we've talked about a couple times so far because after being released by the Bengals, he's currently still a free agent.
Yeah, and with our current O-line situation, a lot of people have said, hey, maybe it's worth taking another look at that, right?
Yeah, I mean, someone who was asked about it is this guy, old Stevie. Stephen Jones.
What'd Stevie Wonder have to say?
Stephen Jones said that was asked about bringing back LC, he was bringing back La'el Collins, but Stephen Jones was asked about it, and his answer to me was kind of telling. It kind of confirmed what most people are feeling. What we said the other day, which was he's probably not going to be wanted back in Dallas. We usually don't get back our guys once they leave, but basically what Stephen Jones said, quote, is it's all about the health. He kind of insinuated that the body is failing the player in La'el Collins' kind of situation.
So it's similar to their thoughts maybe on my goodness, who did we have last year again? Jason Peters. There we go. Took me a second, but no, I'm just saying because that's another guy that we were like, hey, why won't the Cowboys look at him again? They said that his body. They weren't sure if he could physically keep up with the demands of the season. They're saying very similar things about La'el Collins here.
The difference is La'el Collins is 10 years younger. So La'el Collins already kind of reaching his cusp. It looks like it's over for him. If even the Cowboys are looking at him and saying, nah, we don't even need you. We don't even need you as a backup. That's what's crazy. Even as a backup, Stephen Jones insinuated that he's not going to be able to keep up. He's not going to be able to do the work that's needed in the sense of getting the reps in to solidify and beat out one of our younger guys.
It sucks, but if that's the case, I do think it's time for him to hang up his cleats then.
It may happen sooner or later, but hey, look, he's going to keep trying and maybe be a backup somewhere in the NFL. It doesn't sound like it's going to be in Dallas, according to this guy, Stephen Jones. Another guy I want to talk about who's on the that's free agency. Let's talk about our special teams just for a quick second. I know he spoke today. Our special teams king, right? Kicker Brandon Aubrey. Now, Brandon Aubrey, guys, listen, this is something strange that keeps happening to him. Since preseason, after missing a kick, all right, again, in preseason he missed that first kick, remember?
Yeah.
And he missed that extra point there, the first kick of the regular season. Again, the Cowboys rookie kicker applied a sideline correction. And all of a sudden, he's 3 for 3 since then. A lot of people are saying, like, the football gods have been good to him. Well, I know he spoke, maybe he I don't know if he did or didn't add more information or context to his sideline switcheroo, but it's good. Whatever he did, keep doing it. And we're hoping. I don't think Brandon Aubrey's proven anything really yet, but at least he's proven 1 week he can rebound from a missed extra point and hit everything else. Let's hope it continues and doesn't waver when it really matters in a close game, a tight game, or a playoff and beyond game. So, what did Brandon Aubrey say, maybe about everything regarding his kicking for our Dallas Cowboys?
He said it's been awesome. Sometimes you expect yourself to have to sit there and wait for that moment again. You practice it on the practice field a couple of times, and when it comes, maybe you have a little build-up, a little more pressure on it, just because you've been thinking about it for a while. We're always diagnosing mistakes immediately on the field. We had the fix Sunday already, so when it came up again, I was kind of excited for that moment instead of being nervous for it. You get to go out there and show, hey, we fixed it. It's not going to happen again. So I kind of get his point there. Like, basically, like, oh, whoopsie. Kind of messed it up here, but let me show you that I'm not going to...
Let me rebound.
Yeah, give me a chance to show you that was just a one-time mistake. So, and he said it. For me, it was a pretty big rookie mistake. In the preseason, they had started the clock pretty much as soon as the touchdown scored, and you have 25 seconds to get your extra point done. I saw the play clock started while I was going out on the field. I saw it get down to 22, 23 seconds, so I started my process. I didn't realize the team is still celebrating on the field. The ref still has to spot the ball. I got set before the line was ready and before the refs were ready. I was just standing there, waiting, in my ready position, and I was there for like 15 seconds, just waiting. So he did end up talking to Fossil about it to kind of figure out, like, hey, what should we do there? And basically that's where they made those adjustments.
So that's my thing is, so think about it, guys. So he ran out there, didn't see the offensive line, didn't really get the feel of the kick. It was all rushed because they came in so late and he didn't come in with them. So it sounds like the adjustment is, hey, you know what? I see what they're doing. Let me give them a second, trot on the field and not get ready and set up so quickly. Let me wait for the offensive line to get up there, and then I'll be in my position ready to go, set up, and then boom, hit the extra point, be done with it. So it sounds like it was more of a rookie kind of thing, a first-timer doing something like this in a real game, and maybe he got a little bit thrown off there. But again, he rebounded fine. That's a great sign.
Yeah, and Fossil said it. The football gods have been good to him as far as getting him reloaded chances.
Yep.
He's capitalized on the reloaded chances, which is why he's still our kicker. I'm very optimistic about his continued ascension and hopefully being a Cowboy for a very long time.
We shall see. Bones is giving him the big confidence. We'll see if Aubrey can handle it.
It's in his
possession. It's in his. He has the opportunity.
In his hands, but I'm like, it's in his leg.
His foot. Yeah, his leg. He has the opportunity to do that. So special teams wise, for tomorrow, I'm going to talk about it for the Jets. Definitely not good. Zerline is out for the game, and I will discuss that in a little bit when we get more Jets Cowboys Central. But right now, we're still talking a little bit of thoughts from this last game against the Giants. Just, I would say season stats, but right now we got one game. Trenches. The trenches, guy. That's where you earn it right there. Look at our offensive line, because we're finishing on the offensive line side of things. On the offensive side of things, when it comes to people who spoke, no one really spoke on the offense. We had a couple defensive players speak. But Zach Martin, guys, pass blocking grade from PFF as an 82.1, which is very good. Now, Micah Parsons by PFF and his pass rush grade, that's his pass blocking grade. When it comes to the defensive pass rushing grade, Micah Parsons had an 87.9 pass rushing grade specifically. We're the only team in the NFL, according to PFF, that had an 80 plus pass blocker like Zach Martin and an 80-plus pass rusher on the other side in the trenches, like Micah Parsons, than the Dallas Cowboys. The only team in the NFL to have that, and that means we had some obvious dominance on the defensive line, against the Giants' offensive line, and then we actually did kind of dominate the Giants' defensive line with our offensive line. So it's good to see that we're going in the right direction. Now, defensively, I do want to say something, and it's really, I'm going to showcase my guy here, Dan Quinn. I know he spoke today, or had a little quote come through, but Dan Quinn, the Cowboys defense, and not just Dan Quinn either. I got to be fair about this. I've been saying this from the beginning. It's Dan Quinn who came with the Cowboys here at the same time as Micah Parsons. So Dan Quinn, Micah Parsons, since they both entered the NFL, the Cowboy defense has the most sacks and the most interceptions in the NFL since the Cowboys hired Dan Quinn and drafted Micah Parsons. Now that is a match made in heaven, guys. And that's you're already seeing it after 2 years. Now you're seeing this third year. It's just, I truly think Dan Quinn wants to stay with Micah.
Investing
and
in our
push
defense
him
has
as
paid
his
off
guy.
in ways that I don't even think we can appreciate.
Agree.
And I'm just so glad that the Cowboys were willing to take that chance.
In this game against the Jets coming up, Dan Quinn here is going to plan this thing to when Zach Wilson has to throw the ball. The pressure is going to be on him, and it's nowhere to go. So Dan Quinn and Micah Parsons are going to bring the heat, bring the pressure on Zach Wilson. Since ESPN began tracking quarterback pressures, that started in 2009, Zach Wilson has posted the fourth lowest QBR. Basically a horrible QBR there since 2009. The worst completion percentage since 2009, and the fewest yards per drop back under duress. That's out of 88 quarterbacks with at least 200 dropbacks. That's that's since 2009.
You have to have played at least a decent amount of time to even get to that point. It's not just like random scrub or one game backups or whatever it is.
We're talking about big sample size, not small sample size.
Contributors here.
And just saying Zach Wilson has failed across the board. So this should not be any different. If he's throwing that ball, baby, game over. Even Eastside Harold knows that. And since the start of the 2022 season, so it's the beginning of last year, the Jets have scored an average of 0.9. That's less than a point. Passing touchdowns per game, guys. Believe it or not. That's the second worst rate in the NFL. Second worst. At that same time frame, the Dallas Cowboys, since 2022 started the season, have allowed only 1.3 passing touchdowns per game. That's ninth best in the NFL. Another advantage, Dan Quinn and this defense. Micah Parsons coming to manja. I'm just saying, guys, I'm pretty sure Zach Wilson is shitting bricks right now, getting ready for this guy coming at him, the hungry lion. No joke, guys. So, again, the Cowboys have the stats, the numbers, the advantage in every single way against these Jets when they throw in the ball. We'll talk about that a little more in detail. But, baby, I know you have some defensive comments and thoughts off of the last couple of days. And at the end of today, they spoke really quickly. And I'm going to do it real quick. But a couple of important things that some of our defensive ballers, young guys, been playing, right?
We have to talk about our favorite overshown replacements, overshown role fillers.
The two of them, right?
Marquise Bell and Juan A. Thomas. It's hard to talk about one without talking about the other. And I'm just saying, these guys do feel like they're in a symbiotic relationship.
They're playing they're safeties, playing hybrid linebacker, and they're mixing it up. Sometimes they played last week, played at the same time. This week, you probably see more Marquise Bell. But guess who's not going to be there this week? It looks like Donovan Wilson. We'll talk about that as well. So no Donovan Wilson, both these guys, front and center. Very important to what we need to do to stop the Jets tomorrow.
Yep. So real quick, let's go ahead and hear directly from these guys. Basically, one of the first things that were asked is, are the Cowboys kind of overlooking Zach Wilson now that Aaron Rodgers isn't playing? Are you guys kind of taking it easy or whatever? Marquise Bell said, me personally, I always think the worst. My perspective is, we're going into the game as underdogs. So, hell, with that mentality, prepare like you're going to see Aaron Rodgers, right?
Well, I'm saying that's the way we need to prepare. If they're really preparing that way, that's great, because you don't want to overlook anyone. I don't think the Cowboys are, and you don't want to, kind of just say you're satisfied with what you're doing. You want to keep pushing.
Juan A. Thomas actually chimed in to kind of say you have to burn it into your brain to stay neutral. I'm not even thinking about that game right now. I'm thinking about the Jets and what kind of plays I can make against them, because every week will be the same mentality.
Nice.
So basically, you don't want to rest on maybe last week's success, because you still have to go out there and do it again this week.
I mean, that's any competitor knows that, and I'm glad that they have their heads right on for this.
Yeah, no, and of course, Thomas kind of chimed back in there saying anybody can have a good preseason. The question is, can you translate that over? That was something weighing heavy on my brain ahead of week 1. I've showed up in preseason, but now can I show up in a big-time game? And I burned that into my brain.
And he did that against the Giants.
Every time I stepped out there, I told myself, make a play, make a play, make a play. So
Wanye Thomas, he made plays out there.
Yeah, and Wanye Thomas adding in there, too, that after the first play of the game on defense is when the monkey jumped off my back. I didn't know I was going to be in for the first play of the game, and when I did, I knew it was for real. After that, it was just about locking in on my keys and to make a play.
So you got Wanye Thomas, kind of giving you a whole perspective of the way he felt going into this game against the Giants.
So, and, he added in there a little bit more. Honestly, I just went into the game to try and help my team out as much as I could. I was trying to fill in a role and do my best. I went out there, played with some great guys that helped me out a lot. It put me in a great position and worked me, because I'm not 100% on everything out there just yet.
Right.
But when you play fast and uphold play style, you'll make plays.
Remember, guys, second year, he was undrafted last year, Wanye Thomas. And so was Marquise Bell. So, yeah, Wanye breaking it down for us. A really good kind of example of him still learning on the fly almost, and is doing a great job showing up, not just in preseason or in training camp, but in game 1, week 1, lights, camera, action.
Yeah, so, and again, Marquise Bell chimed in here to kind of share his own little thoughts, saying, I'm my biggest critic. I just went into the game, prayed, and allowed God to play through me. I just trust the abilities he's blessed me with, trusted my teammates and the work that we've put in. And it's just football at the end of the day. No matter what level we might be on, it's just football. It's the same game we've been playing since we were younger. So
that's true.
And of course, he's just really kind of expressing his thoughts again, like, I'm happy to be the Cowboys, so happy to be a Cowboy.
Yep.
Adding in there, too, that it's big, but we've got other guys doing it all around the league. So I'm just happy that I can be one of those guys.
Yep.
We're going to keep putting on for those historically black college universities. So, which
HBCUs.
again, he, was just
Florida
kind of proud
A&M,
to be able to rep it, obviously, since he does come from one.
Yeah.
And, honestly, they historically throughout the NFL have not had, I think, as much of a chance to shine.
Yep.
And so, look,
Isaiah Land is
from,
another example of that, right? So, both him and Wanye Thomas are two guys undrafted last year and this year starting. Isn't that something?
And the final thing is, Marquise Bell was kind of asked, like, hey, Micah has called this the battle of the defenses. Do you agree? Like, how do you feel? And, he said the Jets have a lot of great players and great weapons on both sides of the ball. So it's going to be a great matchup, just like every other game. So I like that pointed little comment there at the end. Like,
every game is going to be a tough matchup, a big matchup for the Cowboys. That's the mindset you have to have. I love it. Two young guys showing they stepped up to the plate in preseason, in training camp, in preseason, and week 1. Major roles, major playing. And again, no Donovan Wilson. He's doubtful. It looks like he's not going to play. So you're going to need Wanye and Marquise Bell, who's taking those overshown snaps even more in this game. So, anyways, are those the only people that spoke, or we have other comments there throughout our defense?
We do have some other defensive comments. Just that was it from
them too,
Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell specifically, because then our D-line chimed in for a second to give some love to Micah Parsons. No surprise there. Osa was actually one of the guys that had a few thoughts to share on Micah Parsons, saying that, when people are doubling Micah Parsons, it helps a lot. It's part of being a team and rushing as a unit. Sometimes they're going to double Micah, and a lot of times they're going to slide his way. They're going to try and chip him, throw extra blockers at him. Sometimes I'm catching a double, and it's 3 one-on-ones with other guys. But that's just part of rushing as a unit.
There's Osa getting a sack on Micah's multiple. You see him getting double teamed every time, and who's getting sacks? Other people in these clips. Go ahead.
Said, I hope I get a couple more of those. If I get a couple of freebies, I'll be in a good place to come the end of the season. So that cracked me up. So, but yes, the point is that go ahead, double team Micah, triple team Micah. The rest of us are still going to feast.
They're getting sacks. They got 6 sacks outside of Micah. And those other close ones should have been.
In case you're wondering, by the way, the Cowboys had a 75% pressure rate.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about
the
that.
highest since Dan Quinn has taken over. And DeMarcus Lawrence is kind of asked about that. You know, he said, we've got a saying in our locker room. If you line up, you get fucked up. So it doesn't matter whoever it is they line up opposite you. You know the rest.
See, that's where DeMarcus Lawrence's shit talking fits in.
I was just about
in a game
to say,
like
I'm
this.
like,
There's a
that's
sack.
that's when the shit talking is
that's when it works.
And not just that, but just well done.
Yes.
Not too much. So anyway, Tank was actually legitimately asked, like, hey, you know, some stuff about Micah. He said he's huge to the core of the defense. I feel like he definitely takes pressure off of the D-line, especially with our disguise, lining him up in different spots. It's definitely good for us.
Yeah, not so much for the Giants who double, triple team him. We actually triple team Micah in practice.
Maybe not so good
this
for
week.
Micah either, considering he's the one getting double and triple team. But like, yeah, of course, it's good for us. Sorry, I had that crack me up.
Yes.
You know, and Micah finally, you know, chimed in his own thoughts on himself and all that. He said he always loved the double team, and people talk trash like, "Oh yeah, you're not doing nothing." But I would say it's the ultimate term of respect, man. If you feel like you've got to do more for me than anyone else, you just respect me more. I just take it as that. And they want to get into my head, but I'm like, bro, I'm here. You're dealing with me. Like, I'm not dealing with you. You feel me? It's just mostly respect, and you just got to take it. And guys like, you know, Cleveland's Myles Garrett get it. That's why I respect Myles Garrett's game. He deals with the double teams. They know how dominant he is versus other guys that you may not see that. So... and the last little kind of blurb that I have here was actually from Dan Quinn, again, talking about just how much fun it is to be able to do what he does. He said, what's fun about our group, it can come from a lot of different people in a lot of different areas. Blitz pressure, or four-man rush, or putting guys in different spaces. I think that's what's fun about our defense, is we've got guys who can make plays in different spots. And seeing that firsthand in camp and in practice and seeing it in the game... I know Micah and the others get a lot of headlines, but it's nice to see some young guys who made some plays.
It is nice. Everyone's sharing the wealth here because of Micah Parsons.
He sounds like such a proud grandpa in a way. He's just like, they're making plays. It's just the young guys are making plays. So honestly, we all know it, especially with how much every team leans on their draft, right? But especially us here in Dallas up until very recently. I mean, our draft was literally everything. So when we're talking about, oh, these young guys are doing well and stuff like that, like it means so much more than just
that's a great point.
Young players progressing well.
And
this is the future of the Dallas Cowboys is being written in stone right now. And what kind of team is that going to look like? So far, a lot of the moves we made have worked out in our favor.
100% right. Great discussion there. And I think that, think about it like this for a second. But if the Cowboys, if the Dallas Cowboys... And we've spoken about this on this channel for 6 years. Mm-hmm. If the Cowboys just did a little bit, a trade or two, a couple decent free agent moves, our own or other teams, if we actually gave a little more effort than just going for the bottom of the barrel when it comes to that kind of stuff, then we may actually have a better chance to go and make a run. What did the Cowboys do this year? Cooks, traded. Gilmore, traded. Signed a lot of our own that are valuable pieces of this defense. You can talk about Donovan Wilson, LV, and others here. And then, picked up a couple important, other minor free agents when it comes to that side of things. But I guess just saying, like, outside of maybe the mismanagement of the kicker and other little issues, we have with the front office, with the draft maybe. But in the end, the Cowboys actually turned it up a little bit by just adding a couple of veteran guys with good, safe trades. And, I mean, it's only been one game, but we definitely looked better than last year. And we were 12-5 last year, so we want to play.
And hey, Ryland, if we play the 49ers in the playoffs, we'll get our revenge.
Yeah. So, anyways, any quick thoughts in the chat before we move on to this thing here?
Let me see. Fuego. As far as I know, I'm not sure. Real quick, it's Jordan Lewis is definitely looking like he's about to be ready to go.
Yeah, he seems like he's
lost in translation. Much love to you. What's up? Punch line saying, let's go Cowboys always. So, rolling back here. I'm just trying to read through some of these comments. So, and yes, guys, no Madden simulations. Sorry to break anybody's hearts, but long story short, YouTube is not a fan. Let's Leave it at that.
Of simulations.
Yes, of simulations.
Yeah, it's silly. But we just can't risk it. We do want to make sure we kind of give you the final kind of words of this game. And actually, it's really important to discuss what's coming next here, which is the roster moves, roster elevations, injury updates on our players. So let's get to that here as we really get closer into the final preview of the Jets Cowboys tomorrow, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 4:20 Eastern. Anyways, sorry. We do have, of course, 2 elevations from the practice squad. We had 2 of them last week. C.J. Goodwin, cornerback, released for special teams, and center Brock Hoffman, the backup to Biotish. That was last week. This week, the exact same 2 guys. This is, again, the second practice squad elevation for both these guys. And by doing that, like, we only have both these guys for one more elevation. Then after that one, after the third one, we have to then choose to either sign them on a 53 or cut them and then try to get them back onto the practice squad that way and hope no one picks them up. Now, so that's the kind of the situation with those 2 elevations. Now, when you talk about their usage, I mean, we don't have to really talk much about the usage. We know Brock Hoffman is there for the backup center for Tyler Biotish, but this also is a good sign that we didn't bring up 2 offensive linemen. Why? Because that tells me that Zach Martin is 110% as far as going to play. He's playing, guys. The fact that we elevated only a center, again, he could play guard too, but we have TJ Bass, we got others. My point is that we didn't elevate another. That means our offensive line is going to probably be same as last week. We always need to probably get a backup center in there, and Brock Hoffman is that guy. He'll probably eventually become a 53-man guy, Brock Hoffman. But that means Zach Martin is good to go for the game tomorrow, even with the groin, and he's questionable. It's like 95%. He's playing, and again, according to other sources, the expectation is he's starting. So, I mean, not a big surprise for us. In fact, day one of this thing, Patrick Walker made the mention that when he talked to him, he said, "I'm fine, I want to play." So we knew it by then. There was not a worry for me when it came to Zach Martin. That's great news for today. He was not moved up to probable, but he's still questionable.
It's still nice to hear it more or less straight from him, though.
Like, that was the first day. That was day one. Now, I mean, he is the officially confirmed starter through multiple sources. We'll keep it at that. But again, Zach Martin, great news for him for today. And I think it's a great news when it comes to the elevation of the players. We can tell a little bit from that. Now, C.J. Goodwin, safety, he's the cornerback, but he's not really playing defense. He played it actually last game a couple snaps because we brought in our backups and third stringers on defense. But C.J. Goodwin's our special teams ace, so that's his reasoning. So it looks like the injuries are not really going to rear their ugly heads as much as we maybe thought. But let me just say this. The fact that there was no elevating of a wide receiver, I'm asking you, does that mean Brandon Cooks maybe is good for the game tomorrow?
I mean, obviously that seems to be the implication, and he's kind of been saying it all week, even though he has that MCL issue, that knee issue.
Yeah, he hasn't practiced the entire week as well.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he said it before.
Jerry Jones says no need for the practice.
I don't want to say assumed it, but just the way that they rolled out the injury information and stuff like that, a lot of us were like, at first, like, oh crap, this is really bad. But then like, well, actually, oh crap, this is probably a relatively minor injury. So all this just kind of tracks with that information, and I imagine he'll probably get a slightly more limited amount of snaps, but he definitely will see some play time on the field.
Yeah, so. I mean, again, I'm still going to hold my breath on this. The Cowboys might want to stay safe than sorry on this. But again, here's the one thing I'm going to say. What this does tell me is maybe he had a good Saturday practice.
True.
And the fact that today's practice went so well, they didn't have to. I mean, listen, we still have 5 other receivers, so we're not having to, really worry about bringing up another receiver. I think that's another point I got to say, because we actually made. I think Jalen Brooks was inactive last week, so I do expect if Jalen Brooks is going to be active this week, let's assume that's the bigger tell about Brandon Cooks. But again, tomorrow, 90 minutes for the game, we're going to get the inactives. It'll probably be either Brandon Cooks or Jalen Brooks. You guys feel me here? Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens on that side of things. But again, it's a better sign than it was yesterday, in my opinion, when it comes to Brandon Cooks. Didn't practice the whole week. Jerry Jones said he didn't need the practice to play. And he's a veteran. He knows the deal out there. And now we didn't move up an extra receiver. Could mean all good news for Brandon Cooks. He was listed, like Zach Martin, as questionable. Those are never the issues that we had, as far as, I thought Brandon Cooks would probably be out of this game. If anything safe than I think Zach Martin definitely in. I know he's in. So Brandon Cooks is really the question mark, the biggest question mark for tomorrow, because even though we do have two guys on here that are on the injury report, and the guys like Jordan Lewis, we talked about him. He should be a go if the Cowboys want to. He could be an inactive, and that just means they want to rest him one other week. But the big guys that left now are guys like Donovan Wilson and Tyler Smith. What's the deal? They were both listed as doubtful yesterday.
And again, doubtful players very rarely end up being good to go.
One or two players in 5 years on everybody, not just our team, but everybody's injury reports. That's happened twice in 5 years. I think the percentage is 0.7% or something of the time you'll get a doubtful guy to play in the next day. So there was no. Also, you gotta remember, if he's doubtful, if he's going to play, usually you'll see him get upgraded on Saturday. No upgrades today on either of these guys, Tyler Smith or Donovan Wilson. So again, Donovan Wilson, here's the deal with him. Let's keep it all in context. With Donovan Wilson having only two practices since he suffered that calf injury in the beginning of training camp, it doesn't surprise me if he's inactive against the Jets tomorrow. All right. Again, he's still listed as doubtful. I doubt he will play. And again, most of the time these guys don't play. To me, that's a big loss in the sense of, it really just solidifying our defense even more. He makes a big difference, even though we got Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas. Donovan Wilson's a big upgrade to those guys right now. So to me, right at this moment that he is, to me, again, how many padded practices did he have? Was it one or two? Maybe two, I think.
And that was that's being generous.
I think that's Thursday, Friday. I think he had two. That's it. That's since this season. The first practice was in training camp that he got hurt in was not a padded practice. All right, that was in shells and shorts. So and that's the way he got hurt with the calf strain. So again, the point now is with Donovan Wilson, he's going to stay doubtful in my mind. Do not expect him to play tomorrow. Expect to see more Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell get those snaps. Israel Mukuamu could also jump in there and help out. That's our six safeties right there, because the other guys are J-Ron Curse, Malik Hooker. That's six safeties when you add them all up there. So Donovan Wilson might be probably missing this game tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Also, offensive lineman Tyler Smith, in my opinion, he's doubtful as far as the injury report. And that same situation, probably not going to play. That was yesterday. It would be a surprise, a pleasant surprise, but a surprise nonetheless if Tyler Smith plays tomorrow on our offensive line. And let's be honest, the way Mike McCarthy was talking about it, the way Jerry Jones talked about it yesterday, it never was turning to anything more than he was not going to play this week. So let's be real, guys. Not a surprise. The Cowboys had the whole week to plan for this. And, I do believe that when it comes to Tyler Smith, we're going to have Chuma Edoga hopefully have another good day over there. Again, he's not. It's funny because there he is with the Jets, but now he's a Cowboy. I don't know why I went there. But anyways, the point is Chuma Edoga, he will be, vital. Number 71, not 75. The Chuma Edoga will be vital to take over that left guard spot for Tyler Smith. But I think he did a great job last game and pulling and all that stuff. So he's going to, I think he'll do a similar great job in this game.
On a slightly different level.
Yeah, but
just progressing though. And
all around.
Can't wait to see him continue to progress.
Yeah, no, all around for Chuma Edoga, I'm just saying, he had a tough defense last week to go up against. This week is very similar to that. A little better, I will say, especially with Quinnen Williams. Nonetheless, Tyler Smith, I think he will be, missed, but not missed as much as we would have been if Chuma Edoga did not produce like he did last week. I think we're okay with Chuma Edoga for one more week. And let me just say one other thing. Assuming he does play this week as well and we do a good job with him, we really have a guy who's been tested against really good defensive lines, and he's our backup. Like that, you can't. That's the real gold mine right there. If Chuma Edoga can be a guy we can lean on, especially at guard and maybe at tackle as well, as our sixth offensive lineman. Big guy came up here, and Tyler Smith situation. We hate to see it, but again, we understand that this does happen sometimes, and you have to be ready. We knew it was going to happen to our offensive line. I do think if something happens and Tyler Smith comes back and Tyron Smith gets hurt, I think you'll see. This is my guess. Tyler Smith go to left tackle, and Chuma Edoga come in there, and I think takes over. Left guard. So instead of leaving Tyron Smith there, Tyler Smith shoots to left tackle. Anyways, go ahead. Hit up the chat, baby.
By the way, Tom Montoya said, imagine having a first and last name Brooks Cooks. It rhymes.
Yeah.
So, MH is throwing out there, the Jets' defense is really good, though.
Well, I agree. No doubt. But
That's why Micah called it, what was it? The Battle of the Defenses or something like that. So I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what he called it.
But I also want
even Micah is kind of expecting it to end up being very much a defensive battle between both of these teams.
I agree, and it will be. That's going to be what we're going to talk about, these keys to victory here in a minute. But I just want to say that someone like Chuma Edoga, who's going to be going up against a better defense as a whole, still's playing. The Giants, their by far most powerful, best spot on their team was their defensive line. And the Jets are a little better than them, I think, on the defensive line, but the whole defense is a lot better. So I don't know if that's going to affect Chuma Edoga as much, as my point. I think this is more about, if you're looking at a team thing, it's more about them blocking that front line like they did last week, but then it's about our receivers getting open, Dak making the pass, and that kind of stuff. So, we'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. We'll talk more about the offense in a second, but I know you're reading some comments, and everybody in the house.
Yeah, so and Tommy said he's feeling a little silly tonight. All good, guys. Again, we're here to have some fun, especially with tomorrow's game. Our first afternoon game, right? No prime time Sunday night games, at least for a few weeks. But you know what you can do right here, right now? Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, hit that notification bell. Make sure to follow us at MyCowboysFamily on all social media. But that, if you hit the notification bell, that makes sure that whenever we go live or post anything, you always have a notification there and you never miss it. Especially because tomorrow, guys, we will be live for our game day reaction live stream. Can't wait to see our Cowboys once more.
Let's kick some ass.
Hopefully we do carry some of that week one energy until the rest of the season, though, because that would be very nice.
We need to see it. And we need to see what happens at kicker for the Jets tomorrow. I know. You're like, what? Now, remember, yesterday we knew that Greg Zuerlein was on the injury report. He injured his groin, if I'm not mistaken, there. Today, they updated the injury list of the Jets. He's out for the game. So no kicker for the Jets. They worked out 4 guys yesterday. We told you guys the 4 names. The only guy I heard of is the guy that the Jets ended up signing, guys. Again, Zuerlein got injured on Thursday. He didn't practice at all on Friday. He's out Sunday. It's a big blow as far as their kicking game. And, they can get touchdowns against us. We talked about the red zone. They're not good at red zones. We're very good at red zone stop. So that could be an issue for them. Of course, it all comes down to stopping the run. But the Jets ended up signing veteran kicker Austin Seibert to kick in place of Greg the Leg Zuerlein Sunday.
You mentioned he was a little banged up the other day, right?
Yeah, Greg Zuerlein, yeah. But
that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's out. So my point is that Seibert, he's going to be the kicker. I've heard of him before. I think it was the Browns and other teams. He's not that good. In fact, again, Austin Seibert, his career, he's 44 out of 55 field goals, and he's made 55 out of 61 point after, extra points. So not that great. And here's the thing that's even not less great about this guy. This is the thing that could be a key in this game, baby. I'm not even going to touch on it, but I guess this is the point I touch on it. Special teams, not just kicking, but returns. Kavontae Turpin. The reason I say that, Austin Seibert, in his career, only a 37% touchback rate on kickoffs. So, again, he's not punting, but on kickoffs, he's going to be kicking off. That ball's not going to go out of the end zone in the back. The Cowboys are going to be able to return a lot of kicks tomorrow. Probably, maybe 2 out of every 3 kickoffs, the Cowboys will be able to return. Hopefully, we don't need to have many kickoffs, right? Hopefully, just none, just for the one we get to start one of the halves. And outside of that, hopefully they they don't have to kick off because they don't score. That's the goal. But the point here is 37% touchback rate. So if they are kicking off, Turpin's going to get some opportunities. Keep that in mind, family. Now the Jets today officially signed a backup quarterback. Well, and I say
it took them a little while, but not surprising considering they first had to, plug the giant Aaron Rodgers-sized hole on their team before they could plug the Zach Wilson hole. Yeah,
so Zach Wilson moving to the starter now. His backup role is gone. Tim Boyle is now activated to the active roster from the practice squad. All right, so they signed him to the 53-man roster. That's their official backup now. They feel good with him. If anything happens to Zach Wilson, this game or other games, right? Now, the Jets also had other procedural moves. They released Irv Charles from the active roster to make room for Tim Boyle. And then they elevated 2 guys. They elevated their kicker, Austin Seibert, who they just signed to the practice squad, and they elevated Sam Ugovian, linebacker, to the practice squad. Again, like C.J. Goodwin, their special teams guy, right? So we got the Jets kind of pegged now in a way about what they're getting ready to do. Now let's peg. I shouldn't say it like that, but let's take a look at these refs. How about that? All right, because
I was gonna say we're doing what
tomorrow's schedule. You see the uniform schedule there, but we'll be wearing our white with our normal gray. There's the gray with the blue line. You will see maybe
I'm actually really excited for those pants, just because again, it's a small but subtle change, and I think it's gonna look really nice on TV.
But that's not tomorrow, guys. Keep that in mind.
I know,
that'll be for. I think the earliest it's going to probably happen would be the game that the MCF family is going to there. I think that's October 28th, Week 8 against the Rams. So, anyways. The referee, what can we expect from the referee that's going to do this game? We didn't do our ref check earlier in the week. I should have put that in the title. But let's do the ref check right the hell now. Which refereeing crew is going to do this? And the guy who's the head of this thing is called Cleet Blakeman. He's going to be calling. He's the head ref of this Cowboy game tomorrow. Blakeman kicked off his 14th season as the head referee.
Did you call him Cleet?
Cleet is his name. C-L-E-T.
Man.
Cleet.
His parents really.
Or is it Cleete?
No, it's Cleet. I just when you first said it, I thought you meant like a football cleat.
I know it does sound.
I was gonna say his parents were really thinking long term here.
Yeah, they knew his career path. But
Back to you.
Cleet Blakeman kicked off his 14th season as a head referee, which was the Browns-Bengals game last week. His long tenure, guys, has had a little bit of a change when it comes to trends and the way he calls a game. And his crew, right? Blakeman first became a head referee. Since he was very lenient and very, again, I would say consistently near the bottom of the league in penalties called. So he would it's kind of like similar to last week's guys, our crew last week.
Kind of just let him play.
Yeah. So again, the other difference was there was a clear advantage to the home team in penalties. So this would be a great game for us. Little penalties called and favoring the home team. Mm-hmm. But since then, since his first years, him and his crew have become the most strict in enforcing the rules. But they did balance it out between the home and road teams as well. So that goes against both our things here. Now, they kind of even out the home and road team situation as far as who gets penalized more, but they also call a lot more penalties and a lot stricter. So now the Cowboys have to see, this is what I would practice. If I was Mike McCarthy, this whole week would be about extra clean, extra sure. You don't show any holds or put your hands in the wrong places. That's the way we talked about this last season. So last week it was a little more, a little loosey-goosey. This week it's a lot more, hey, they're going to call every fucking thing. So the Cowboys, you can't worry about, but it's not fair. Wah, it's not fair. They didn't call this. Wah, they didn't call. Fuck it. Just play cleaner. Stop bitching. That's all I'm saying. So Blakeman's crew, more strict in enforcing the rules, evening out the home field advantage, you could even say as well. He was the top 5 in total penalties called, but the splits between home and road were almost even. Last week in Cleveland, he called just one more penalty on the Browns than he did the Bengals, so it's even, right? Mm-hmm. And only 3 other games had fewer penalties, though, in week 1. Again, so only 3. So again, he still didn't call that many flags. This has resulted in Blakeman, again, second longest tenured head referee in the league. He's now developing a reputation for being extremely strict, but calling games fair. So you got to be clean because they'll call look like a hold. They're going to call that. All right, they're going to call the things similarly on both teams. It's not going to be the Cowboys are getting shitted on. We might get one more penalty than them. And if we play clean, we'll get less penalties called on us.
Obviously, not as much of a fan on the level of strictness, but if it is fair and equal to both sides,
then we should see it.
It is what it is.
Should be even penalties, right? This has the effect of increasing the value of home field advantages for teams when he used to call games, right? Over his 14 years as head referee, the home team has a 51% win percentage. But in the last 2 years, 2021 and 2022, 21-13 is for the home team. It's for the away team. I'm sorry. Let me see. But he really narrowed the divide. Yeah, it used to be 55% win percentage for the home team. It looks like it's actually gotten better for the home team. I'm sorry about that, but by about 6%. Still favors the home team, but overall, he's still in his career right about in the middle there. Like all referee crews, the majority of the penalties that he calls are what? What do you think they are? The majority of penalties, like him, and every crew calls it, false start and offensive holding.
I was just about to say, holding was like my first guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's my first guess, too. So offensive holding and false start. But in the last 2 years, his crew has consistently been one of the biggest sticklers, specifically in holding calls. He was lenient on false starts. Again, very lenient on false start penalties. You know what I'm saying? In his career when it comes to, I would say, the last couple of years. Stricter on holding,
means, right?
more lenient on false starts. That means that we're going to get called on Micah trying to pass rush quicker, and we're going to get called on our guys holding. Unless McCarthy has seen this and said, you know what, we see these tendencies. You guys have to block better. You guys cannot grab pads as much. Get a little grabby in there, Can't do that if you're on the offensive line. It should be the same for the Jets, though. And they're going to have bigger trouble with our guys. So when they see those, remember those penalties on Osa getting grabbed, Micah getting grabbed? Remember all those little things we saw? They didn't call it last week. If that happens this week, even if it is against us, it should be called by this referee crew. So, again, guys, they don't really care about false starts as much. I guess they let that go. But they don't let go of any holding calls. Now, one area where his crew stood out is when he officiates defensive backs. So Sauce Gardner, Trayvon Diggs, Gilmore, they were in the top 5 each of the last 2 years in defensive holding calls. They're going to call strictness on the defense, holding and pulling and that kind of stuff. And they were used to be near the bottom of the league for some time, but they jumped in the top 5 in pass interference as well last year as well. So again, the Cowboys and Jets feature defensive backs that employ a lot of physical press coverage techniques. It's going to be interesting to see how Blakeman and his crew call these bumps and pulls by both Cowboy and Jets defenders. All right, so we're going to see if he lets them kind of call it and use their usual methods. Blakeman has called 10 games for the Cowboys in his career as a head referee, and the Cowboys are 4-6 in those games. All 6 losses have come at home. So that if we win this game, it'll be our first win at home with this refereeing crew. But again, it's worth noting that 3 of those losses, 10 against Jacksonville, 2015 against the Patriots, 2020 against Arizona. So the Cowboys playing without the starting quarterback. Of course, this time around, we'll get a starter in there at home. This will be the first time Blakeman has called a Cowboys game in the McCarthy era, and Dak Prescott also playing for the Cowboys. So I think he did call a game for the Cowboys, but that was when Dak was already out for the season with that broken foot in 2020. So Blakeman's crew, guys, again, very similar of last week, referee Adrian Hill. So again, the profile is very similar. They're very even when they throw the flags, even for both teams. They're more strict than last week, right? It's funny because Adrian Hill was part of Blakeman's crew. So you can see that they're going to have similar tendencies, but Blakeman, this guy we're going to see this week, is going to be more strict than the guy we just faced, as a referee and crew, which let a lot of things go. So there's the quick breakdown on the referees. Not sure if you have any thoughts on that, or the chat has any thoughts on the referees.
Montoya said, I hope Dak pounds one in the end zone for his chick. So I had to. But Jason Renfro said, the refs are the best moving the goalpost on us. So, hey, at least, like we said,
we got the tendencies out.
At least we know where this ref stands, right? Like, if you're going to bring down the hammer on us, we know the Jets are going to take their own lumps from the hammer, too. They
must. And again, let me reiterate it. When you see Osa and Micah and all these guys getting pulled, that's not going to get accepted this week. They're not going to fly by these refs. The other refs saw it, but Adrian Hill's crew is lenient. This crew will be strict on both sides. Not just the Cowboys. They ain't just picking on us guys. So that's the deal.
Trust me. No one can probably bother Aaron Rodgers more right now in this moment than, well, probably maybe McCarthy calling a brag or something like that.
Damn.
So, let me see. MH, yeah. Obviously, this is definitely one of those moments where I think we do want to see our offense shine a little bit more for a variety of different reasons, right? So, always. So...
Well, we got a little more to go here on my side, baby, as we really go to the final preview and the real keys to victory in this game for our Cowboys. And let's talk about it here, starting with a quick general bunch of thoughts. I want to know what you think about this. If you think I'm right, wrong, give me your 2 cents on this. Biggest mismatch in this game, I think it's Dallas over Zach Wilson in preventing completable passes. That means pass rush and pass coverage.
Yeah.
Sneaky weakness, you can say, again, Zach Wilson has a little bit of a weakness when it comes to attacking EPA rich locations when you see maybe guys not there. The reason I say this is because you're going to see the efficiency for the Jets suffer even more so than maybe in pass. So I think that's one of their biggest weaknesses. You also got, I guess the Jets defense, guys, in a situation where it's going to be them versus Dak's tight window decisiveness. Will he get that ball in there, or will he kind of hesitate, and that gives a chance for the Jets to go in front, pick it, knock it down, whatever it may be. Now, the edge in this game, Dak over the Jets, when it comes to those tight coverage throws, Dak can complete them. That if he's not hesitant, that will break the Jets. I'm telling you right now. And again, the biggest limitation, the Jets over Dak Prescott and limiting yards after catch. Will the Jets pull the Cowboys and not let them get those yak yards that we need to improve on, or will the Cowboys break out of that and get big gains? If the Jets keep locking us down, then we're going to get quick passes, but they're not going to go for many yards. So again, limiting the yards after catch, will the Jets be able to do it? They will have some putting some pressure on us, but we will get the ball out fast. So when it comes to our offense, and let's look at the Jets defense right now. And I'll pop up a couple guys here on the screen for our team on our side of stuff. But when you look at and again, let me reiterate this, the jokes, the New York jokes there. Clowns, this is the jokes, but I call them the clowns. Listen, hopefully they're going to crash and burn tomorrow. But let's talk about the Jets. And unfortunately, they have a great defense, so it's going to be a great test for our offense. And we're going to start with Dak Prescott. And now what I think we're going to see from him tomorrow, let me see, I got to find Dak first. Here he is. So Dak Prescott in this game, guys, you got to give Dak time. Offensive line's got to give Dak time. It all rhymes for us here at MCF. This blowout win against the Giants in Week 1. Clean game for Dak Prescott in the pocket. The Jets defense, again, they're overall better group on defense, but also a little bit better in the Giants defensive line. And they do present a threat to the Cowboy offense. Quinnen Williams, and he's right behind Dak, number 95, trying to stop the run and everything, but he can definitely wreck game plan single-handedly. A career-high 12 sacks last year. Became an all-pro. Listen, he helps on the edges the way that our big guys in the middle try to help our edge guys, but by making us double-team him constantly. And then you got the young pass rushers like Jermaine Johnson, last year rookie. This year, Will McDonald. This year's first-round pick. Veteran defensive edge rusher John Franklin Myers. Next to Quinnen Williams is Quentin Jefferson. We quickly touched on him, another guy who picked up 2 sacks in Week 1 against the Bills. So keep Dak clean. This is going to be, again, we can take advantage of their good secondary if we can keep Dak clean. It's still going to be rough to throw it into the secondary, but you keep him clean, it's going to definitely not force as many chances for turnovers. Let's put it that way. The Jets defense had 5 sacks on Josh Allen. Dak didn't have any sacks against them. Had very little. Again, they had some pressure with the Giants, but our offensive line, specifically Zach Martin, great job for them there and kept Dak upright the whole game. If we do that this game, it'll be helping the Cowboys be victorious and get the win. We cannot turn the ball over. Guys. The Jets.
Ball protection is like number 1.
Yeah, the Jets used. What did they do against the Bills? They got 4 turnovers, all through Josh Allen, 3 picks and 1 fumble.
Yeah, they took advantage of every single one of his mistakes.
And they put up 13, 16 points to go into overtime, all right? And then, they won it with the special teams thing in the end. But my point is, they ain't going to put up points like that if you don't turn over the ball 4 fucking times. And plus, you got points taken away because those bombs, 2 of them were in the end zone there. So, again, the Jets defense is fantastic. They could take over a game if it starts to snowball for the Cowboys. So, to me, not exciting, but a conservative game plan from not just Dak Prescott, guys, but you're talking about the guy in charge of this offense, and that's, Mike McCarthy. So, I guess he's not on the screen for us here, but Mike McCarthy, to me, has to make sure he is careful with the ball in this game. So, that would be the best strategy for the offense, in my opinion, for Week 2 against the Jets. Now, the fact that the Jets, again, let me put it this way. Our team has an elite defense. That's what you want to let it rest on. You don't want to have to force the offense to have to force them to throw into triple coverage or something crazy. So, again, moving the ball will be difficult, for, I would think the as far as they are concerned, the Jets, moving the ball will be difficult on offense for them against our elite defense. And we shut out the first opponent 40-0. So, again, they are going to have to hope that their defense gets turnovers on us, okay? So protecting the ball is a priority in special teams as well. Of course, any slip up on them on special teams gives us short field. So these things are for the Jets to try to win this game. they got to force turnovers on our team. So if they give up turnovers, it's game over. So, but I want to say one thing when it comes to specifically Dak Prescott, and it comes to turnovers. Of course, none this first game. But you know other quarterbacks so far in their first games that they've played? Patrick Mahomes has 1 interception. 1 turnover, I'm sorry. Josh Allen has 4 turnovers. Lamar Jackson has 1 turnover. Jalen Hurts has 2 turnovers. I didn't even count last game. Daniel Jones has 2 turnovers. And again, Josh Allen has 4 turnovers. So, you guys feel me here? A lot of quarterbacks already have Dak, so far so good as far as that's concerned. Now, when it comes to Dak throwing the ball, right? CeeDee Lamb's going to be trying to catch that ball most of the time, and the matchup with number 1 is a key here for victory. If we do give Dak a clean pocket, give him time, and he doesn't turn over the ball, then CeeDee Lamb is going to have a chance to, whoever he's going up against, is going to be able to have a great game, and even against number 1 Sauce Gardner, who is a fantastic 6'3", 200+ pound, fantastic coverage guy there for the Jets, number 1 on their team. So he's going to be, will he shadow CeeDee Lamb? I doubt if CeeDee goes in the slot, he shadows him. Brandon Cooks, will he be limited? Will he play a full game? But, we heard good news today that he's questionable and did not need an extra receiver to come up from the practice squad. So the Jets are young and talented in the defensive backfield, but again, with Sauce, who's the most talented, he's got the ability to disrupt the Cowboys' entire passing game if Dak allows him to. So Dak has to choose his battles, especially when they're targeting number 88, especially when Sauce Gardner is on him. So hopefully this week we'll be able to, abuse the defense with CeeDee Lamb, attacking even Sauce Gardner, again, keeping Dak upright, keeping the clean pocket, no mistakes. And another last thing on offense I'm going to speak here, I think, cleaning up the dropped passes. Cleaning up the dropped passes, guys. We had 4 last week in the rain. With no rain, we should be much better off. Kamate Turpin dropped a screen pass. Jake Ferguson dropped 2 passes, and Peyton Hendershot, he dropped a touchdown. Definite touchdown right there. The Jets' defense is too good for these kind of stupid mistakes. So no drops. Help your quarterback. Help your offense. And that goes for tight ends, running backs, and wide receivers, of course. So, again, against the Jets, you drop one of these, tip it up in the air, it's going to be interception opportunities. You can give away points because of your receiver, the targeted receiver, having an easy drop or a tip up in the air. So, if the Cowboys are going to score points against the Jets defense that only allowed 16 points to a good Bills offense, then our pass catchers, again, running back, fullback, tight ends, receivers, have to catch the ball, bring in the pass from Dak Prescott. Plain and simple. Very much, obviously, an obvious key to a victory against the Jets. Now, that's how you kind of try to take over the Jets' defense. Any quick thoughts or comments about Cowboys versus this fantastic? Again, you see on the right side, number 57, C.J. Mosley, who's going up against guys like Tony Pollard and maybe Deuce gets in there, Rico Dowdle.
Fan throwing out there. I'm not worried about interceptions, just concerned about tipped passes.
That's what I just said, exactly.
The interactions with, our offense and their defense, it's more about an execution/mistakes thing on our side than it is us looking at anything that the Jets defense has and saying oh shit, we got it. Again, this is not me to be disrespectful. It's just more about the fact that we are the ones that beat ourselves, right? The Jets are just the type of defense that will capitalize on our every mistake.
It's funny how Skeptical Fan brought it up. As I didn't even see that from him saying that, but we're on the same wavelength here. Cleaning up those drops are major, and that can cause that's just a lost touchdown, lost first down. We had a couple of those, but it also could cost us an interception, a game changer. So these receivers got to catch the ball. No excuse this time of the rain for Dak and for the receivers. So let's see a cleaner game from from our offense against a very goddamn good Jet defense. You cannot have any mistakes against this Jets defense. But I also want to throw in there when it comes to those drops and stuff, McCarthy's going to call a safe game plan. So these receivers have to be sure-handed and catch the ball, bring the ball in. There shouldn't be any interceptions based off of the McCarthy game plan unless there's a tip or drop or something stupid that gets kicked up in the air somehow. So much love, Skeptical, on that. And, any other quick little thoughts? I'm going to keep rolling here to the defensive, to our defense versus their offense.
And so, there's a few other ones, but most of them are relating to our offense, not necessarily their defense, if that makes sense.
Okay. So that's perfect. Then we'll get there now, because now we're going to talk the other way around here. We're going to talk about the Jets, I would say weekend offense with no Aaron Rodgers, and our defense led by, of course, the great Micah Parsons. Anyways, let's go like this. First and foremost, that kind of makes sense. So Micah's got to block out these two guys behind him. Number 20, Breece Hall. Number 33, Dalvin Cook. The Jets are not going to have future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, but to me, baby, the biggest thing in this game is stopping the run. We stop the run, the Jets are done. Veteran running back Dalvin Cook will come in there and spell their starter, second-year running back Breece Hall. And that will challenge the Cowboys' run defense, which is really the only recent, I would say, with this Dan Quinn defense, the only real weakness has been the last 2 years, the run defense. And even this first game against the Giants, it was some fear there that we were able to get beat on the ground. So we got to fix that, in my opinion. That's the first thing I noticed. I said it the night of that win. I'm still saying it now, even in a bigger way. So we got to style. This is a challenge for the Cowboy defense. Not the pass rush, not the coverage, stopping the run. So we had struggled early against Saquon Barkley. We got a big lead, the rain. All this helped the Cowboys on defense. And, of course, again, did not need to worry about stopping the run as much because they were in a they got to start throwing they got to throw the ball the whole game to get back in the game. So you saw Breece Hall still has burst. But, again, I'm going to remind everybody, I think he had like 127 yards on 10 carries. 8 of those carries, he had like 25 yards. The other 2 carries was 26 yards and 83 yards. Mm-hmm. So Breece Hall had a great game overall. When you look at the context, he had 2 really big plays. So the key for the Cowboys, you cannot let number 20, Breece Hall, break one. He gets to that line and we don't have the right guys to stop. He is gone for a 70, 60-yard run or more for a touchdown. So that would break our defense for a play. We cannot afford that. Number 20 must be watched, must be stopped. There's no joke in this side of things. So that's one guy we got to definitely keep an eye on. Got to limit his explosive plays on the ground or in a screen situation for number 20. Don't forget Dalvin Cook, who last year with the Vikings in that big comeback game against the Colts, he got a couple touchdowns. One of the last ones, he got a screen and ran it all the way for a touchdown. He's elusive, he's strong, he's fast, he's quick, he's still very good. He led the team in carries last week. But again, he didn't have the same success as Breece Hall. Former Viking standout, guys, coming off of 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons and averaging over 4.4 yards throughout his career per carry. So the Jets right now are going to lean more on the running game without Aaron Rodgers. We know this the moment it happened. The Cowboys defense has to slow down a dangerous run attack. And again, I'm going to throw in there Zach Wilson, a little bit dangerous when he runs the ball because he is sneaky, he can run, he has speed, so you got to lay him out quick and early. Now, the best way, again, for the Jets to try to get a victory is to run the ball all over us with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. They combined for almost 200 yards last week, while Leighton Vander Esch and Damone Clark will have to be sure tacklers. Our linebackers got to be sure tacklers with these 2 guys. And, of course, defensive line will have to slow them down and take on double teams. Linebackers got to finish the business here when it comes to Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. So that means LVE, that means Damone Clark, they have to make the tackles. If not, this running back duo can hurt us. It's very important the Cowboys can slow down these 2 very good running backs there, okay? So, again, when you look at Breece Hall's performance, I just wanted to say 10 carries for 127 yards against the Bills. One of those went for 83, another one 26. 80% of his carries went for just over 2 yards. He was averaging 2.25 yards per carry outside of those 2 big, huge runs. So he can be stopped. You just cannot let him explode through your defensive line there. He had a 20-yard catch, by the way, a reception. I guess he took it. But again, he's still 72.7% of the time when he was responsible for making the play, he got less than 3 yards against the Bills defense. So Breece Hall is stoppable. You just can't let him explode through. And Dalvin Cook can hurt you. He didn't have a very good game last game. Be aware on him. Now, when it comes to the matchups on the offensive line, which kind of leads to the passing game for the Jets, we talked about it yesterday. Left guard Laken Tomlinson. He's a key for me to watch because he's number 78. He's going up against DeMarcus Lawrence and Jonathan Hankins. Tomlinson struggled for much of last year. All right, he looked really bad as a run blocker with 45 rating from PFF. So again, he's been horrible on the ground blocking. That means that guys like Hankins are going to disrupt the run. That's what we're going to disrupt it. Number 95 is going to attack and try to bowl over their left guard, Laken Tomlinson, number 78. That's a big key to slow. You talk about I gave him a lot of praise. I'm telling you the keys here. And we got to get Hankins has a mismatch inside to blow up a lot of, not every play, but blow up a lot of plays. And I'm talking to you, Mozzie. You will get some opportunities, number 58, to get in there and also help blow up shit against some not very good interior offensive linemen for the Jets in the run game. That's where we got to stop them. Forget the passing game, the run game. So the Jets, if they're going to run the ball, they're going to have Tomlinson at his best, which is not even that good. And, definitely DeMarcus Lawrence and Hankins and Osa going to give this mother effer a lot of problems. Also, Elijah Vera Tucker, we talked about him yesterday. Also, Mekhi Becton. Both these guys, and along with the tight end, Jeremy Ruckert. These three guys are going to be on the other side of the line. And they're going to be doing everything possible to, I'm assuming, run all over us. If the Jets are going to go ground and pound, try to maintain possession, control the clock, slow down our opportunities on offense, maybe, I don't know. The Jets finally have, after 2 years, Vera Tucker and Mekhi Becton playing side by side, first time in since 2 years since last week against the Bills when they first got to play each other. So the Jets' approach this game is going to be similar to the way that they prepared for the 2009 playoffs against the Bengals, where they had their running backs combined for 36 carries that game, and Mark Sanchez, not a very good quarterback, right, just threw 15 passes. So they're going to try to win the game that way on the ground, and they got to use these offensive linemen, I just said, in these situations. But again, Mekhi Becton, Tucker, Ruckert, they're going against Micah Parsons and Osa and Hankins and DeMarcus Lawrence at times. So everyone is going to be able to get up in there and blow up these plays, run game or passes, right? So when I talk about passing, it's going to be Micah Parsons, guys. You got to pressure number 2, Zach Wilson. Dan Quinn's defense made it very difficult for Daniel Jones last week to play quarterback. Sacked him 7 times. It looked like a lot more than that. This week, the Cowboys get a chance to make it a rough life for Zach Wilson. Jets made him the number 2 overall pick in 2021, and so he's back there. He's going to try his best, I guess, but I think we're going to have him a little bit running scared out there, like the way he looks in that picture. Has a losing record, guys, as a quarterback for 2+ seasons. Has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns in his first 23 games he's played. Perfect combination for Micah in this defense. The Cowboys, led by this man right here, Micah Parsons, are ready to attack again throughout his career. Zach Wilson's career, he's taken 69 sacks. Micah's loving this, chomping at the bit. And we know Zach Wilson under pressure makes a lot of bad decisions. So Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, they're going to be ready when they're forced to throw the ball. That's going to make the difference right there. So the Cowboys defense, if we can pressure Zach Wilson, how the hell are they going to win the game if they have to throw the ball? They're not going to be able to. Obviously, we know this is a key. Like you said earlier, baby, the Cowboys had a 75% pressure rate and 5 players combined for 7 sacks. I think we had 6 players with 10 players with pressures. I don't know, a lot of guys. And when Parsons shows up, like we saw in the video, Dorrance Armstrong, Osa, and others show up as well. Sam Williams, all of them show up, and they're all on one-on-ones. Battling guys, which again, like Andrew Thomas last week, was one of the best offensive linemen, supposedly. He got wrecked again by everyone, not just Micah Parsons. So when Zach Wilson is pressured, he throws poor passes. You know how often? 1 every 4 passes he throws he throws bad pass. Not an interception, but a bad pass. 1 every 4 passes when under pressure. And when you have Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, maybe Jordan Lewis, and all our safeties out there, minus Donovan Wilson, 1 of every 4 attempts is going to equal bad situations. When they throw the ball 12 times, it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 picks. I'm just saying, it's going to be a bad pass against our defensive secondary. They're in trouble. So you pressure Zach Wilson. You make him make poor decisions, and you capitalize when he does. Also, you can get sacks.
Our defense definitely knows how to do that, because at least capitalizing on mistakes has been one thing that has been trending upwards the last few years. And, of course, watching our defense basically capitalize on those mistakes in week 1 live and in action, man, that was the cherry on top. So I'm definitely looking forward to that week too.
Yep. So again, Micah Parsons, we look at a matchup here. He's going to be up against all over the field. He's going to be over center, guard, tackles. But I'm looking at him versus old man Dwayne Brown, offensive tackle. Dwayne Brown, he's number 76. Keep an eye on him. Again, this is the left side of their line. Weakness with old man Dwayne Brown, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, and then Laken Tomlinson, 78, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers. 38 years old, Dwayne Brown is. he's coming on. He's still banged up this week, limited all week, full practice yesterday, and he's going to play this game, but he's still questionable. Micah Parsons will have a lot of opportunities to feast on Dwayne Brown, stopping the run and attacking the pass rush. And so, again, he is no longer the player he once was, for sure. But now he's got to protect Zach Wilson's blind side. And it's against this guy right here on your screen, Micah Parsons. So this is a matchup obviously heavily favors the Cowboys. And it's one that's basically a no-win situation. If they got to throw, it's a done deal. I mean, Zach Wilson will be running for his life the rest of the game. Even giving more Brown help to try to neutralize Micah Parsons, it's going to free things up for the rest of our guys. So obviously we want them to double and triple team Micah, because that means everyone's coming in there getting sacks, stopping the run, whatever it has to be. The last thing you got to do is limit Garrett Wilson, number 17 on this page here. The Jets do not sport a really good deep group at wide receiver. They got a couple decent guys, a couple average guys, but nobody really special except when you get to number 17, Garrett Wilson. Second-year wide receiver. Offensive rookie of the year last year. One of the best young wideouts in football right now. And again, he is the biggest threat in their passing game down the field. He's the only receiver that has any kind of connection even to reinserted quarterback Zach Wilson. Garrett Wilson had 83 catches for 1,103 yards as a rookie last year. Most of those came with Zach Wilson under center. So he has the most experience right now with quarterback receiver Wilson to Wilson. They have the most connection. That works for them. That's their best weapon on offense outside of the running game. The rest of the New York wide receiving room does not have a regular season catch with Zach Wilson throwing the ball. So chemistry might not be there yet with the rest of this team. And I'm talking about the capable veterans they got, like Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, McCole Hartman. None of these guys have played with Zach Wilson. And Cobb and Lazard have obviously we discussed this earlier in the week, but a large history with Aaron Rodgers. So the biggest threat in the passing game, if he's able to get time, which he won't, for Zach Wilson is Garrett Wilson, number 17. And again, becoming an elite receiver, a good test for the Cowboy defensive players. DeRon Bland in the slot, and it's Gilmore and Diggs on the outside. Whoever he's matched up against, we will need to limit his output from this young talented receiver and stop Zach Wilson from having a security blanket in him. This will be a miracle if we get to this point, but that's what I'm saying. If we get to this point, we're probably losing the game. So we're probably in a bad situation if Zach Wilson is connecting to Garrett Wilson over and over again, and we can't get pressure and we can't get coverage. And something happened. Something major happened. So
that escalated very, very quickly.
Yeah, so again, that's your old boy MCF's full breakdown and preview of this upcoming game with all the keys to victory. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We've been hitting it all week and kind of fine-tuning it for this game, and with the injury updates and the elevations of our players kind of tells a lot. I think here going forward with this team, and I do think that positive that Zach Barnes is going to start. That's the expectation. He should be doing that tomorrow, starting this game. I think that the questionable guy. Real question is Brandon Cooks going to play, and how limited will he be? We'll see about that tomorrow. I do think Donovan Wilson's going to be out of this game. More snaps for Marquise Bell. More snaps for Wanye Thomas. And then Tyler Smith. That means, that number 71, Chuma Edoga, takes over for him. Again, had a great game last week. He's going to have to give it another great effort against this very, very good defensive front of the Jets. So Tyler Smith, doubtful, again, like Donovan Wilson, they both will not play tomorrow, in my humble opinion. We meet here again tomorrow around 4 p.m. Eastern time, right here in My Cowboys Family. We prop the cameras on, lights on, action on, and we get the game day, our live stream reaction, all the play-by-play breakdown. It's a watch party with us, so chill, have fun, and go Cowboys tomorrow. Again, appreciate those that dropped the love from above. I don't want to hit up a couple of comments on the shout-outs here, but those that dropped the love from above right now for tonight, Skeptical Fan with that thanks drop. Much love, Calvin Richards and A. Lavelle. So appreciate you guys with the support and the love. Tomorrow we'll be back at it once again and with the cameras on, and I cannot wait for this game to kick off. And I cannot wait to shout out the sponsor of the week. Aloha to the man Mark Hovsepian. He's got the all-time record, 15 in a row. Now he's starting a new streak right now. He's got the top spot for at least till tomorrow night, and we'll see who the new champion is, or will it be the same old? I don't know. We'll see. Brandon James Shea, though, he's in the house with 58 points. And Mozzie Smith, who's going to have to come in big with Mr. Hankins tomorrow and stopping that run. Much love, Brandon James. Still above that middle spot on the stream boss with 58 points. And then, of course, same old when it comes to the Lunatic repping that membership gifting board. Appreciate you. And, of course, Ron the Don Smith in the lead on that side of things. You look into the Cash App side of things. Got a big shout outs here to the man repping it for 5 straight weeks. And baby, you know why he's here. The king of the Cash App, SnugX.
Woo!
And, of course, the current leader trying to break that streak right now, it is David S. So much love to him. Not only is he leading the Cash App board, he's also the overall current leader. Trying to get that sponsor lead from Mark Hofsepian. We shall see. So it is a battle, and we'll see who wins it tomorrow right here on My Cowboys Family. Also, if you're in the membership, a little surprise tomorrow, a little bonus, little fun raffle we're going to have. So check it out and jump in the membership before we kick it off tomorrow. You can be in this thing. I think in the silver, right? In the silver, blue. I mean, not navy blue, but the silver, the star, and the over everything level. So we'll talk about that tomorrow right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to Frank Moyer. And, baby, I'm going to shut up for now as we get ready to get on out of here. Make sure you do the shout-outs and comments on the chat, please.
So let me see. Fuego 2.0, much love. Sing update. Brandon Cooks is out. Jalen will be called in to fill the void.
Again, that is the probable situation. I don't think it's been confirmed yet.
So let me see. Tim Pinnell, take it easy. Have a great night. Jason Renfro, much love. Saying Colorado State let Colorado go 98 yards for the tie with less than 2 minutes to go. That's crazy.
No wonder everyone's out there while watching the game.
So yeah, definitely some fun football. We have...
We should have started now. We should have started our stream now.
Oh, let me see. Stoned Immaculate in the house. Fuego 2.0, of course. Tim Pinnell. Tokyo representing. Jason Renfro, the Cash App King. Jason Renfro.
He's actually not repping the board, I think.
True, that's right. So, I apologize for that. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. Saying both of them need to complete all passes.
Correct.
And I'm guessing you're talking about both QBs. So,
well, yeah, but with our QB, we got to make sure we complete it, and the receiver got to make the catch. It goes both ways.
And I know I mentioned this comment, but I do want to shout it out again as we shout out MH. He said, at least we have recent film on Zach Wilson, just because that is actually very critical.
Yeah, most of last year, and of course this last game.
So, let me see here. We have Mikey High Night. Have a great night. Aztec Aguilera 4, much love. Tommy Montoya, take it easy. Let me see. Chris Plumage asking who the X Factor is on offense.
I mean, it's our offensive line got to hold it together. I think we get that done. That's a true X Factor.
I think with the way the week 1 went, it kind of has to be our tight ends, right? Like
for sure, that would be nice.
The X Factor. That's a good point. They dropped it, but they're gonna hopefully pick it back up. At least that's
luckily we didn't need them in that Giants game as much.
Exactly,
right?
But we're definitely gonna need them in this New York game
for sure. Good point. Good call on that matchup against C.J. Mosley. So keep an eye on that.
Yep, Henry Smith, take it easy. Have a great night. Let me see. Stoned Immaculate 2, much love. Yeah, it's as far back as I can go, at least here on my side. So, yeah, perfect. So, guys, seriously, huge shout out to every single one of you guys here, chilling, hanging with us. We can't do what we do here at My Cowboys Family without your continued love and support.
So, baby, let them know what we got to do. Why do we do this here on MCF every single day and night?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Right here in MCF, we're always repping that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, right here in My Cowboys Family. Say it with us. Say it loud. Say it proud. And get ready for that Jets game tomorrow. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond, baby, and beyond. Thank you all for rocking with us once again for another one here at My Cowboys Family. Dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long, dropping the love from above, guys. Truly appreciate the couple people that dropped it, and we'll be back tomorrow, dropping that camera on, getting ready for this big game against the Jets. Get your jerseys ready, get your thoughts out there, ready for pregame tomorrow. We'll be talking this. The inactives and all the good stuff we got to talk about before the game kicks off. And then play-by-play watch party, guys. Buckle up. It's going to be a good one. See you back here in a little over 12 hours, guys. 14 hours from now. Let's get that win number 2 for this 2023 season.
That's right.
Before we can clock out for the night, baby, and drop out, relock and reload for the big show tomorrow, the big game tomorrow. What do we got to do before we drop out of here for the night?
We gotta drop the beat.
Oh yeah, that beat has been dropped, and hopefully tomorrow we will beat
Got him.
and drop the Jets. Week 2, drop those anti-Jet emojis if you got them in the membership. Drop them in the membership. Thank you all for rocking with us here for another one. Here, my Cowboys family. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow us on Twitter at MyCowboysFamily. Jump in the Discord and join us tomorrow for the big live stream reaction watch party. Can't wait, guys. Let's get it done. And Fuego, Skeptical, the wife, Retro, everybody. Drop them if you got them. And remember, another Cowboys chat in the books. In this case, a Cowboys preview for Game 2 of 2023 versus the Jets. Micah's going to hopefully be living in the backfield of the Jets. That's the purpose of this here at AT&T Stadium. Trayvon, you throw it, he's picking it. We'll see what happens. I can't wait. Right here, as we get ready for this game on our little channel here on YouTube called MCF, where it's about that navy blue, silver tooth, and that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one, a special one, the live stream reaction one here. My Cowboys Family, have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you back again for the big one, Week 2 style. And as always, peace out. Never ever forget, Go Cowboys!
On the beat. Monk on the beat.